y'all. So I just wanted to get a raise of hands on how many of you currently feel creatively fulfilled in the job that you currently have. All right, so about half. How many of you would be willing to go to another job in order to creatively fulfill yourselves, but also take a pay cut at the same time? All right, so if you raise your hand on the second question, you'd be aligned with 36% of Americans who said that they wanted to pursue a career that allows them to be more creative. And a third of Americans said that they wanted to be more creative and would take a pay cut as well. I have always been a creative ever since I was young, and I always aligned myself with the people who would be willing to take that pay cut. And I wanted to do my interview with somebody who had already taken that leap. And I decided to do my interview with my friend Lee Geiger, who is a lighting designer in Las Vegas right now. We've known each other for about 6 years now, and we actually did a performance together in 2018 where they were my lighting designer. And so I've known them for a long time, but my first interview question actually goes before junior college when we met, when I asked them what started their original drive for theater. They said that they were playing clarinet. Just like me, they were doing another art form before they decided to pursue theater, but they were attracted to theater in high school due to the camaraderie and the form of community that theater brought. The second question I decided to ask them was where they draw inspiration from. So they said a lot of inspiration that they get comes from the world around them. It's not just other artists, it's not just art that they indulge in, but it can be things from as simple as buildings around them, from nature, from people that they interact with, interactions that they have. Inspiration can come from a lot of different things. The third question that I wanted to ask them was being about theater in regards to the choral aspect. I asked them if there was ever any butting heads or if there was any stifling of creativity due to that kind of creative, communicative group setting. And they told me that with the director, having somebody who has like a finite vision when it comes to a creative output, it can be actually pretty helpful because it allows for you to exist within a form of box, and you're allowed to experiment in certain ways, but having somebody to tell you and reel you back in and say, this is what we're looking for, can actually be really helpful. And having those parameters is something that theater is pretty defined by when it comes to communication. The fourth question I asked them is where they see themselves in 10 years. I asked them where they saw themselves in 10 years, and they didn't really have an answer. They had to think about it for a little bit, thinking about what would happen if they still wanted to be a lighting designer, if they still wanted to do theater. And they came to the exact same answer that I had, which was they wanted to do theater, and they weren't entirely sure where they would exist within it, if they wanted to be a designer or they wanted to be somebody who did costuming or maybe somebody who does set design, but they still wanted to be it in some aspect and work with people who had the same creative vision as them. So just going back to this, I wanted to talk about these statistics and say that a lot of people don't get the chance to follow their creative endeavors. So I would say that it's something that we can all learn from this and should strive to achieve.
Thank you.